Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on some of the magic that powers the modern interactive web. We're diving into Socket.io, a technology that has completely changed how we experience websites and apps in real time.
You know that feeling when you're in a Google Doc and you can literally see your colleague's cursor moving around? Or when a notification just pops up the instant it's sent? Well, that's seamless, instantaneous experience. That's not magic. It's actually a super elegant solution to a really old problem with the web. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack.
But to really appreciate just how brilliant the solution is, we first have to get a handle on the problem itself, because the web, in its original form, was just not built for the kind of instant interaction we totally expect today.
So think about it like this. The old school web worked on a simple loop. Your browser asks a server for info, the server sends it back, and boom, the conversation is over. It was basically a one-way street. And that's totally fine for looking at static pages, but it completely falls apart the second you need a constant two-way conversation for a modern app.
So how do you fix that? How do you turn that one-way street into a dynamic, two-way superhighway? Well, this is where our star player, Socket.io, enters the scene.
And here's the absolute core concept. Socket.io sets up this persistent two-way connection. And that event-driven part, that's crucial. It completely flips the script. Instead of your browser having to constantly ask, anything new? Anything new? The server can now push updates to you the very instant they happen.
This quote from the official site it nails it. Bi-directional, that means data is flowing both ways. Low latency, it means it's happening incredibly fast. And every platform, that points to its amazing versatility, which is a huge part of its power. And we'll get more into that in just a bit.
Okay, so how does Socket.io actually pull this off so reliably? Well, the secret is in its incredibly smart, and I mean really smart, and resilient connection strategy. See, Socket.io doesn't just cross its fingers and hope for the best. It has this brilliant plan. First, it tries to use the ideal technology for the job, something called a WebSocket. But, and this is key, if that fails, maybe because of a weird corporate firewall or an older browser, it doesn't just give up. It seamlessly falls back to a more traditional method that is guaranteed to work everywhere.
The difference is kind of like having an open phone line versus sending a text every few seconds asking, hey, anything new yet? A WebSocket is that open phone line. It's instant, it's efficient. The backup plan, HTTP long polling, is like sending all those texts. It gets the job done everywhere, but it's way less efficient. Socket.io masterfully gives you the best of both worlds. You get peak performance when it's possible, and you get guaranteed reliability always.
So, right about now, you might be thinking, okay, I get it. It's just a fancy wrapper around WebSockets. But that's really missing the bigger picture here. The true power of Socket.io is in all these extra layers of reliability that it gives you right out of the box.
And I mean, this stuff is a total game changer for developers. If your internet connection glitches for a second, Socket.io just automatically tries to reconnect for you. It also sends out these little heartbeats to constantly check if the connection is still alive. It basically handles all the messy, annoying details so you can build a system that's truly robust and resilient.
Now, the reason it can do all of this built-in reliability, is because Socket.io is more than just a piece of code. It's so important to understand this part. It's actually two different things working together perfectly. It's a library, yes, but it's also a protocol.
So first, it's a protocol. And what's that? Well, think of it like a shared language. It's a set of rules. As long as two different systems agree to speak the Socket.io language, they can communicate perfectly. And that simple idea is incredibly powerful.
And second, it's a library, which is the actual code that puts those rules into action. So you have a client library that runs in the user's web browser, and then you have a server library that runs on your back end. And both of them speak that shared Socket.io protocol to communicate seamlessly with each other.
And this is where that whole protocol idea just blows the doors wide open, because you aren't locked into just one programming language. Sure, the official server is in JavaScript, but there are implementations in Python, Java, C++, Swift, and more. That means your Python backend can have a real-time conversation with a JavaScript frontend, no problem. That's the power of having a shared protocol.
All right, so let's zoom out for a second and pull all of these threads together. What's the big takeaway here?
Here's the bottom line. Building reliable real-time systems from scratch is incredibly complex. Socket.io takes all the hard parts, the connection issues, the disconnections, the scaling problems, and it wraps it all up in this simple, elegant package. It makes the real-time web accessible to everyone.
I mean, think about it. This is the engine behind so much of the modern web we now just take for granted.
from live sports scores and multiplayer games to our everyday instant messaging apps. It really opens up a whole new world of possibilities for creating dynamic, living applications. So the real question is, what real-time future will you build with it?